really close to saying good morning, but I'm not going to. Good evening, everyone. Wait a second. Good evening.
Good evening.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Thank you. We're getting there, Ed. We got Hanukkah, we got Yule, we got it all set up here. Well, welcome to Emerson. Welcome all of you just joining us. My name is Reverend Deborah Bennett, and it is a delight to be with you this evening. And a special welcome to anybody joining us online. Hello, if anybody wants to turn around and wave at the cameras, we're glad that you could be with us. And a very special welcome to anybody who is joining us for the very first time, and anybody who's joining us as a family or friend of a member, or family or friend of the minister. Not going to point you out, but everybody's going to look around to find you. We come together this evening to celebrate the light and hope that we can offer each other in these darkest days of the year and throughout our lives together. In words and music this evening, we will share messages of anticipation, of faith, of mystery, of peace, grace, celebration, and light. Today we honor the birth and the life of the prophet and rabbi Jesus of Nazareth. Legend tells us that he was born in a manger because there was no room for his parents in the inn on that dark, cold night. And I think we have all experienced moments like that, but what Mary and Joseph must have endured that night, when nothing seems to be going right, when resources are scarce, when we may feel left out in the cold, wondering where help will come. But just like Mary and Joseph, it is often in those darkest nights, the darkest times in our lives, that light does come to us. And often this light comes in the form of a compassionate helping hand, or inspiring words, or a song, or simply in a small light of hope that glimmers in our own hearts. Finding and celebrating this light is the meaning of Christmas that we share tonight in our lessons and carols, and lots of candles. So we're going to begin there tonight, and I'm going to invite Theo Thomas to be our candle lighter. Theo is one of our senior youth. Are you ready, Theo? First, we're going to begin by lighting our Unitarian Universalist chalice. Its light is a reminder that there is a warm welcome for you here. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you call home, in all your many identities, you are welcome here. And we're going to light our Advent wreath tonight. Its candles represent hope, peace, joy, and love. These we lit throughout our month to prepare ourselves to light the center candle, which represents the birth of Jesus and the center of our own hearts. May its light be a symbol of the collective light of our love together. And tonight is the 7th night of Hanukkah, so I'm going to invite Dave Schimmel and Ginger White to come and light our Hanukkah candles and offer us a Hanukkah blessing. Thank you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Hanukkah.
And together we can say amen. Thank you. And Theo, let us light now our Yule candles. The Yule log is a symbol of hope throughout the ages and many pagan traditions. Its light is a call to the returning warmth and light of the sun as the days begin to slowly become longer. And though we will not light the candles of our Kwanzaa candles tonight because Kwanzaa starts on January 6th, or 26th, we do want to just acknowledge it as this is a holiday that affirms the African roots for Black Americans. These candles that are on this candelabra represent unity, self-determination, collective responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. And finally, tonight, we're going to light our 3 candles that we light each Sunday. These are the candles that hold our collective sorrow and hope. These candles represent the suffering and enduring hope for all nations of people who suffer at the hands of war, violence, and oppression. We acknowledge the Cherokee and Muskogee nations of people on whose ancestral land we occupy today. And the 3rd candle acknowledges the suffering of the Africans who were brought here and enslaved. May our collective intentions and work for peace and justice heal those wounds and set us for a course to create a more compassionate world. Thank you, Theo. And now, as we sit in the light of these many traditions and the intentions that they bring, let our own lessons and carols begin.
I have a deck of medicinal plant cards, and each card has an illustration of a particular plant on it. There's also a description of each plant's properties in this corresponding book. I try to remember to choose a card every day and read its description so that I can carry that plant's wisdom with me through the day and try to learn from the lesson it offers me. I chose holy basil and its wisdom for our lesson of anticipation today. Holy basil, oh, the sparkle, the effervescence, the twinkling starry night of holy basil. What a true and joyful friend, dancing in the night, laughing in the day, bringer of buoyancy and clear and true companionship. Holy basil is a brightener of the spirit, a true harbinger of euphoric peace. The energy of holy basil should be released into our water supply, bringing light into the eyes of the collective, curling up the corners of our mouths and letting all our hearts sing out. Holy basil is a friend if you are feeling backed into a corner by lethargy or despair, hopelessness or sorrow. Holy basil is an ally for nearly everyone, as their gifts work with the small and large stressors of daily life, both the subtle and the overt. The power of stress has taken on a life of its own in the modern world. So much a standard part of our day-to-day activities, stress is the mode which many of us view as normal. Stress has always been a part of being alive, but at one time was much more connected to an imminent survival than it is now. Now we have culturally programmed this into our existence and invoke the stress response around nearly any activity, relationship, or experience. We have also lost many tools to release stress in community, to resolve conflicts in a healthy way, and to heal. Holy basil is a glitter-sprinkling guide in navigating our stressors by creating strategies to manage them and perhaps even learning a way out of this pattern of normalcy. Certainly, some people have much greater loads and are living much more closely to the questions of survival. But if collectively we can brighten, lighten, and loosen the ties to the culture of stress and our stress response, hold each other when needed, allow for freedom and release, these effects can ripple out in our shared society in ways that benefit and brighten us all. If you will join me in rising in body and spirit, or spirit, for number 235, Deck the Hall with Boughs of Holly.
Good evening. The following is the last Noel by heart. On the first Noel, I awoke to a bell. It was ringing out songs I had yet to know well. In peace as I lay, I looked back on the day. In the voice of my father, I can still hear him say, oh well, just another Noel. Where is the son of Israel? On the next Noel, I remember it well, with my own little boy and the stories to tell about a star in the sky on a beautiful night, and the shepherds and cattle alone in his light. Oh, tell me about the Noel, born the King of Israel. Little stockings hung with care, hoping Santa soon will be there. Little footsteps on the roof, down the chimney. There's your proof, there's your proof. On the last Noel, all I hear is a bell, and it's guiding me on to my home in Mortel. All around I see my friends are in sight, and they're guiding me on to the beautiful light. Oh well, just another Noel. Born is the King of Israel. Please, as you may, rise to sing number 253. Come all ye faithful. Rise as you may.
On Christmas Eve, while babysitting two naughty children, Mrs. O'Reilly warned them that if they didn't behave, they could get a visit from Paradiddle Gutterspout, and no child would want that. She told Clark and Amy that if he comes, he'll ask the Paradiddle riddle. He'll say, "As I was drumming, my ring turned red. A child's being bad when they ought to be in bed. On this special night, how can this be? Don't you believe in the mystery?" And the only answer he'll take is this one: "Christmas Eve is special, that's true. Sorry, my mischief summoned you. I'll be good now. Please leave me be. I believe in the mystery." "Well, why? What happens if I don't answer right?" Clark said. "Well, Mr. Gutterspout is related to the Banshees. They're his cousins, I think. If you say you don't believe in the mystery of Christmas, he'll call them quick as a wink, and they'll come. Where do they take you? Clark said, kind of worried. Well, no one knows. Every child that's been ever taken there has never been seen or heard from again, because if you find out what the mystery is all about, you have to stay there. Well, that's not true, is it? I mean, somebody must know what it's about. Isn't it about Jesus' birthday? Everyone knows that, Clark said, kind of annoyed now. Oh, yes, of course, we celebrate the birth of Jesus, but there's more to the mystery than his birth. Did you know Jesus wasn't actually born on Christmas Day? I mean to say that he was indeed born, and he was a gifted teacher and taught us all sorts of things that lots of people practice to this day, so he is a very important person and well worth celebrating. I certainly do every year. But lots of smart folks, experts you'd call them, say that he was probably born closer to April. Amy was confused and said, well, then why do we celebrate it in December? Well, Amy, that's a good question, but you know, that's part of the mystery of this special holy night. Way before Jesus came, people celebrated this time in honor of the sun, and they were the first ones to bring trees inside, and they're called pagans. Before them, there were some people in Africa who celebrated at this very time for another reason, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was someone before that even. So you see, since the time there were people, and maybe even before that, this has been the most special night of the year. And even if they celebrate it in different ways, everyone can tell this is a special night, and you must believe it, and you must be on your best behavior, or the powers that be will teach you what the mystery is. And just like those wrapped presents under your tree right now, it's not meant to be known. The closest you can get to the answer is just to say, I believe in the mystery. And old paradiddle gutterspout's ring will turn green, he'll pat you on the head, and he'll go back the way he came. If he feels like you really meant it, then sometimes he even leaves a few of his gold coins for you. When you wake up, it'll be Christmas morning, and you can open those presents, eat pies and turkey, have fun with your friends, and do all the stuff that you're supposed to do on Christmas Day. But whatever you do, don't tell him that you don't believe. No telling where the banshees will take you, but I'd never see you again. You're dear children to me, and I'd miss you very, very much. So do you promise to be good now and go to sleep? Yes, both children replied together. After Mrs. O'Reilly went back downstairs, Clark considered the story she told them and wondered if it was true. Probably not. Probably just another made-up fairy story like she's always telling us, so we'll behave. Just the same, he decided best not to test the existence of paradiddle gutterspout, and he started to drift off to sleep with the mystery of Christmas still intact. Amy felt the same as her brother and shut her eyes tight to go to sleep, but just before she did, she heard her brother saying these words in a whisper he didn't think she would hear. To be on the safe side, he repeated the answer to the paradiddle riddle under his breath. Christmas Eve is special, that's true. Sorry my mischief summoned you. I'll be good now. Please leave me be. I believe in the mystery.
Is this who led to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping, whom angels greet with anthems sweet, while shepherds watch are sleeping. So bring him incense, gold, and myrrh, What child is this who led to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping, whom angels greet with anthems sweet, while shepherds watch are keeping? The Son of Mary.
If there is to be peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there is to be peace in the nations, there is to be peace in the cities. If there is to be peace in the cities, there must be peace between neighbors. And if there is peace between neighbors, there must be peace in the home. If there is peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring you light. Where there is injury, your pardon. And where there's doubt, true faith in you. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there's despair in life, let me bring hope. Where there is darkness, only light. And where there's sadness, ever joy. Oh, grant that I may never seek so much as to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love with all my soul. Make me a channel of your peace. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. It is giving to all that we receive, and in dying that we are born to eternal life.
Hi, everyone. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. My name is Ann Mason, and I'm ministry associate for our justice work here at Emerson. Each month, we partner with another organization committed to justice and peace building and support their work both financially and through direct action. In some cases, individuals make requests for support directly to our minister, Reverend Deborah. The requests may come from a local person or someone who's not connected with Emerson or from a membership of our congregation. These requests have included support for temporary housing, food, utility bills, medical expenses, or a variety of other urgent needs. As a congregation, we have chosen to create a ministry fund which allows Reverend Deborah to provide this much appreciated and needed support to those individuals on an as-needed basis. As the basket is passed tonight, please consider supporting this fund so that we may continue to support others in their time of need. Thank you, and again, Merry Christmas.
A lesson in grace. Jane was having a rough day. She had just lost her job and was struggling to pay her rent. As she walked through the park, feeling lost and alone, she noticed a small dog trotting alongside her. The dog seemed to sense her sadness and stayed by her side, nudging her gently with its nose. Despite her reservations, Jane found herself talking to the dog as if it were a human. She poured out all of her worries and fears, telling the dog about her financial struggles and how she didn't know what to do. The dog listened attentively, its big brown eyes fixed on Jane's face. Then it turned and started to walk in a different direction. Jane hesitated for a moment, but something about the dog's presence made her feel like she could trust it. She followed it. As she walked, the dog led Jane to a group of older people who were sitting on a bench. They seemed to be having a lively conversation, and when they saw Jane and the dog approaching, they waved them over. Jane hesitated again, feeling awkward and out of place. But the dog nudged her encouragingly, and she found herself walking towards the group. To her surprise, they welcomed her warmly and invited her to join them. As Jane sat with the group, listening to their stories and sharing her own, she began to feel a sense of belonging. She had always felt like an outsider, but now she was part of something bigger than herself. As the evening came to a close, Jane realized the dog had disappeared. She looked around for it, but it was nowhere to be found. As she said goodbye to the group and started to walk home, she saw the dog sitting by the side of the road, its tail wagging. As Jane approached the dog, she noticed that it was wearing a collar with a name tag. She leaned down to read it and was startled to see the word Grace printed there. Grace had found Jane when she was feeling lost and alone, and led her to a place where she could find friendship and support. And now, as she walked home with the dog by her side, Jane realized that Grace had found her where she was, but it didn't leave her there. It had taken her to a new place, a place where she belonged. The story was written by the AI software ChatGPT with a few nudges from the minister. Please rise in body and spirit and let us find grace by singing hymn, It Came Upon the Midnight Clear.
A Blessing of Love and Wonder by Lynn Gardner. And so the story says, it's almost 70 miles between Nazareth and Bethlehem, and Joseph and Mary were making the long journey that was required of them in order to pay taxes to the Roman Empire. Mary was filling each mile a bit more than some as she was about to give birth. But there was a blessing. One of their neighbors in Nazareth had offered them a donkey for her to ride on the long trip. You see, kindness can make any journey a bit easier. Mary and Joseph were on that exciting, sometimes nerve-wracking journey towards parenthood. It had been 9 months since the angel Gabriel had appeared to Mary, asking if she would carry this child, this Son of God. And so, with her consent, Mary was pregnant. And there was another blessing. Her dear, sweet Joseph, who believed in her, who had faith in her and in God. Faith can help when times are confusing and difficult. And there in Bethlehem, this young couple was blessed with generosity, a place to stay. It wasn't very fancy, but it was warm and safe. Out in the fields, there were shepherds watching over their sheep. It is said that the angels came announcing that a child was born. Now, I would guess those shepherds don't always feel important. But on that night, there was a blessing. They not only felt hope hearing of the birth of this little baby, but they also remembered, at least for that night, that they were each precious. A new star rose in the heavens, telling of the birth of one who would bring a message of peace, one who would bring change, one who would be called a king. Wise ones went to King Herod to tell him that a new king had been born, and Herod was jealous. And so he sent them to find the baby. The stories say that they traveled to find him, and there was a blessing. The wise ones felt compassion for this family, and they chose not to tell King Herod. And as Jesus was held and rocked and snuggled and fed and sung to, there was a blessing of love and wonder. All the people and animals gathered around a new baby, caring for him and for one another, resting in that amazing love. Over 2,000 years later, we retell the story of Jesus' birth and of his life and teachings. And there is a blessing, a possibility of a better world, when we remember that we are all connected, when we choose kindness, faith, generosity, when we remember that each one of us matters. The possibility for a better world happens when we practice compassion, when we allow our hearts to be changed by love and wonder. So this Christmas and every day, may you be touched by such blessings and share them with all that you meet.
A lesson in light from John O'Donohue. There's a quiet light that shines in every heart. It draws no attention to itself, though it is always secretly there. It is what illuminates our minds to see beauty, our desire to seek possibility, and our hearts to love life. Without this subtle quickening, our days would be empty and wearisome, and no horizon would ever awaken our longing. Our passion for life is quietly sustained from somewhere inside us that is wedded to the energy and excitement of life. This shy inner light is what enables us to recognize and receive our very presence here as a blessing. There is a quiet light that shines in every heart. And now, my friends, the moment you have been waiting for. It is time to pass that light to each other. So in a moment, Theo and Sarah are going to take the light from our chalice, and they're going to pass it to each one of you in the rows. In a moment, I'll ask you to stand for this. Irene is going to sing Stille Nacht, and then we will all sing together Silent Night. Theo and Sarah are going to demonstrate for parents, if you want to make sure your children and maybe other adults do it this way. We want to make sure that the light that is lit just stays exactly where it is, and the light that is unlit, oh, Theo, you're so good, light's the one that is lit, and thereby that one and the next person. So please, let's pass the light together. Yeah.
Stille Nacht, heilige Nacht, alles schläft, einsam wacht, nur das Trautag heiliger Paar. Oder Glaube im
please stay standing for a moment. Let's just share a moment of silence, allowing the light of the candle and the light of our shared humanity to be with us, speaking to us in silence and holding us in this light. May the light of your heart bring you anticipation, faith, mystery, peace, grace, and celebration. May your days be filled with the knowledge that you do not travel this life alone. May you wake each morning with a desire to live life fully, and may you close each day in the comfort of all that you hold sacred and holy. Blessed be, Amen, Om Shanti, Ashe, Ashe. So I'll take a breath together, and then I'll invite you to gently blow out your candles. And now the work of Christmas begins. You may take a seat.
And now, the work of Christmas begins by Howard Thurman.
When the song of the angels is stilled,
When the star of the sky is gone,
when the kings and princes are home,
when the shepherds are back with their flocks,
the work of Christmas begins.
to find the lost,
To heal the broken,
to feed the hungry,
to release the prisoner,
to rebuild the nations,
to bring peace among all people,
to make music
in the heart.
So let us make music in our hearts one last time. Please rise, embody our spirit, and let's close with singing Joy to the World. Thank you for joining us this evening. What a beautiful time. Choir, you're amazing. Can we get our hand for our choir? And Kathy Middleman. Kathy, could you just stand up? This is our choir director, Kathy Middleman. And our beautiful music coordinator, Bruce King, on the piano. Bruce, thank you so much, as always. been a really wonderful evening. Theo, may I have your assistance in extinguishing our chalice? Please join us for the final words. They are printed in the order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world until we are together again. I think, Millie, did you have something you wanted to say? All right, Millie Fuller would like to say something for those of you that are staying with us for soup supper. They're in the back. And for those of you not joining us for soup supper, I wish you a very merry holiday. A happy holiday and Merry Christmas. Please go now in peace and take peace wherever you go. Thank you for joining us. Yes. Merry Christmas.